Welcome to StreetGangs.com SGTV. I caught up with LAPD Chief William Bratton a little over a year after he took over and asked him some questions about the reduction in crime and gang-related crime that the city had been experiencing after 2003. He also expressed the need to expand LAPD's 9,300 officer force to be between 15 and 18,000 officers to be comparable to New York City's 35,000 or 40,000 officer force. Take a listen. I want to congratulate you on the 12% reduction in crime that you mentioned a moment ago. And I myself was a little skeptical that we would see a crime drop in 2003. And I want to ask, what do you attribute that 12% decline in homicides to?
Actually, the good news, the decline was actually 23%. And that's about 139 fewer murder victims in the city. We still had over 500, which is way too many. I attribute it to a number of things. One, police back in the streets, they're more assertive, they're policing smarter. Two, certainly community involvement, gang intervention, ministers, business leadership, youth leaders. We couldn't do it without their cooperation. Thirdly, information in the community. Community people coming forward, oftentimes anonymously, but information that helps us to solve some of these crimes. So this past year, the gains in reducing crime are a combination of all those things working together.
Now, you mentioned a moment ago about LAPD having a small police force, 9,300 officers, and you being the former commissioner of New York, which had about 45,000 officers?
40,000.
My question is it a little misleading to compare LA as being small and New York as being big when New York actually polices the housing projects and the trains and other entities that LA is not responsible for?
Except that we have 9,000 for 480 square miles and over 4.5 million people. New York has for 7.5 million people and 300 square miles, close to 40,000. Not even taking into account the huge size of Los Angeles, we'd need to have 15 to 18,000 police officers to have the equivalent of what New York has.
Okay, and I remember last year also when you first, well actually a little over a year, there was a lot of talk about LAPD and the Sheriff's Department really didn't work good together in the past decade. And Lee Bach was here yesterday and you came here today, and I was wondering what efforts has the LAPD and the Sheriff's Department have done so that, because we hear a lot about, but what kind of things have been implemented?
The Sheriff and I spent a lot of time together coordinating our activity. On the gang front, we're doing a lot more sharing of intelligence and information. Similarly, on the anti-terrorism front, we have a lot of joint command centers and task forces. Now, Sheriff Barker and I are both close personal friends and both admirers of each other professionally. And while we're both very proud of our respective organizations, that we understand that because we are still both so small, the best way to work is in partnership, and we've been doing a lot more of that.
Okay, and I just got a couple more questions. You mentioned national attention, bringing more focus on the LA problem. In the past, at least under Daryl Gates, it seemed like the more attention that he brought to LA, it was more negative. What kind of balance are you going to strike by actually bringing more attention to LA, but without bringing the negativity with that?
What's very different is that the attention we want to bring is that we do have a major problem. But the way we're working to solve the problem is just not the police. There is not a police solution to this problem. And I think that's the difference between what we're doing now and back in Chief Gates' time. Back then it was with the LAPD, we'll take care of it. Well, you can't take care of it. The problem is too big for any police force to take care of. But the difference this time is exactly what's going on in our participation in this conference. We understand that you cannot arrest your way out of this problem. We need to work with the communities that we police in partnership, and that's what's going to be different.
Okay, and lastly, you mentioned community policing during the Clinton years, and we all know that not just in LA, but a lot of cities, crime went down from like 95 to 99. Right. But also there's another theory that the economy was more robust. When you talk about community policing, but you don't mention the economy, how can we actually really look at the root causes to that crime going down?
Let me explain where I come from in terms of that concept of the economy. I believe if you make a community safer, that businesses will invest in that community. In case of a city like Los Angeles, tourists will come. That creates jobs. But if it's unsafe, it's a global economy. Businesses can locate anywhere in the world. Tourists can go anywhere they want in the world. So until we make it safe, you're going to have a hard time creating jobs. You're going to have a hard time improving the economy. I think we had it backwards. We always thought that the cause of crime was the economy, racism, poverty. Those are phenomenal influences. The cause of crime is people committing crime. And the role of the police is to prevent them from committing that crime. And if we do a better job at preventing it, then we make the community safer, businesses invest, tourists come, tax dollars are raised, more money for schools, hospitals, and more jobs.
Rockin' it, yes, he is rockin' it. Tito's rockin' it, yes,